may not be anything more important than this area right here. Why? Because this is what keeps your water clear, looking good. As dogs are jumping in and people are jumping in and all those kinds of fun things with your recreational ponds, this is what is controlling the water quality. The way that it works is the water goes into the bottom and it goes into what we call a snorkel and centipede. So basically the water is going through that pipe really fast. Once that water is moving quickly, it comes up into the aqua blocks. Once it hits the aqua blocks, it just slows down. Everything slows down. The water spreads out evenly, works its way up through multiple sides of gravel, multiple feet of gravel, through plant roots, and then overflows back down into the stream, back down into the pond. It's getting reoxygenated as it's working its way down the stream. But then the fun part is making it look good again, right?
Yeah. So we got to be careful with how we do these, because like we were saying with the negative edge, we really want to hide the size of that water storage. You can do that too much on a wetland filter, right? So you can choke this thing in too much. So we did a lot of things here to kind of break up where we make it look smaller than it is, but we still have a lot of water flowing through all the right size gravel. It's also important to know what your flow rates are. So we've got a really big pump. That pump going through these 2 3-inch lines is getting very close to 16,000 gallons an hour. If we were to force 16,000 gallons an hour up through all this gravel, filter's it's gonna move too fast. It's gonna work too quickly. The plants aren't gonna be able to do their job. Bacteria is not gonna grow the way it's supposed to grow. So we do have to split that off, and that's what we've got right here is actually a secondary. This is a Biofall 6000, so this handles a good bit of flow. So we're able to tweak that with some ball valves and send the water on top, so we can still get these really cool waterfalls, but then we have the right amount coming up through the bottom. What I really like about how this came out was, again, to hide the size of it and not create this very square or even like real circular look. We split this rock, and actually what it's doing is it's just taking this little gurgling sound, and you almost can't hear the other 27,000 gallons an hour that's running that way, because it's all focused that direction. This is actually louder than the other waterfalls where I'm sitting right now. So, you know, we try and incorporate different ways to interact with your pond, and sound's definitely one of those factors. We want to make sure you can hear it when you want to, and kind of be able to change those tonalities depending on where you're sitting and where you got company, or if you want to just have a more intimate spot for you and your cup of coffee.
You mentioned a couple different things through there, like, for instance, if we don't need 16,000 gallons an hour flowing from here up, why are we installing pumps that'll flow 16,000 gallons, right? So there's two different parts. There's what we want this thing to look like, but then there's what we need to make it function properly. So the 16,000 gallons of water is to make the waterfalls look really nice, to make the stream look really nice, and then we needed less than that for our wetland construction. So you're putting about 8,000 gallons of water to the bottom of the wetland. So that's why we do different things, and you know, a lot of the time in the beginning when we're coming out and we're talking about all the fun stuff. What are the waterfalls going to look like, and how wide is it going to be, and how big is it going to be? And then once that part is done, then we got to turn around and change that to, hey, how are we going to construct this to make sure that everything functions? Less rocks will just make a better looking waterfall. And man, if you could just do that with 3 rocks, it was awesome. Well, the waterfall leaving the wetland now only has 2 rocks, and that is even cooler. And you know, just by, you know, it's funny how we, you know, over time things just get better and better. We used to really put a flat rock in the middle, a frame rock on each side, and that was really important to hold the water in and make it look good. But man, what you guys did with leaning those rocks back towards the middle, just awesome job. I mean, it looks great, and it looks extremely natural, which is #1 goal.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen without, you know, going out and seeing these things in nature, right? You know, we kind of see how a natural stream and a natural waterfall happens, and it's, you know, it's kind of cool how it does it. It just kind of this water just erodes away a narrow channel out of usually 1 rock, you know, and you know, sometimes we can do that, and you know, usually Usually that one rock's 30 feet wide or something, and it's a little outside of what we can do and replicate, but you know, what can we do to just get a little closer to reality, you know, with these fabricated things that we make out of rock and wood and stone. And
we just talked a little bit about Mother Nature. If you notice, if you ever do go, you know, here in our area, Ricketts Glen, but really any kind of a stream area or anything along those lines, you'll notice that the water oxygenates off some waterfalls, goes down, and then you got some clear streams and pooling areas. And one of my favorite parts about the whole aquascape system and the systems that we're installing is we're really just simulating that, but it's more than just that. It's also the surrounding areas. Like, there's some rocks and some boulders off to the side, and that is not that's not usually because we have extra stone laying around. That's because we want to make sure that we are simulating Mother Nature, where it's not just, hey, there's rocks and waterfalls here with nothing out to the left or the right. So you are going to see some different outcroppings and some boulders and different things. And then, of course, you got to landscape it to get everything looking nice and natural. And that's one of my favorite parts of the company, is that we have a lot of different aspects that we can do, but we get to incorporate all the different divisions and people that focus on that field every single day. I mean, the landscape team did great. The water feature team did an absolute fantastic job as well. So, you know, getting everybody out here makes it fun to do these collective projects. One of the really cool parts of this entire project that I knew was one of the goals, when you go something really big, you want to be able to interact around it. You want to be able to walk around it. Step up, step down, walk across rocks near the stream and the pond. Just really make it as interactive as possible. And sometimes it's nice to just have some seating areas and spots to just sit and hang out. So, well done.
yeah, I'm calling the rest of my appointments for today. I'm probably just going to cancel.
You know, a lot of the time we do these big patios with palmaric sand joints or gravel joints or whatever. This one here, I know it looks a little rustic right now, but that was done on purpose.
Yeah, we incorporate a lot of bluestone in our projects, full color bluestone. We typically stick, at least on our end with the water features when we're doing them, we'll stick with these irregular cuts. They just match really well with the boulders and the natural organic style and character of them. But even more than that, we have different ways of doing it. We can do what we call true hardscape walkways, which will have a solid base, and it's very, you know, they're great. I mean, they get the poly sand and it's all tightened up. We did do a true hardscape patio over with the fire pit, because that was going to get a lot of wear and tear, and people were on it and standing. It's the main viewing point of the pond. So that patio over there with the fire is a true hardscape with polymeric sand and everything. But this one is right in between the waterfalls, right? Like we wanted it to almost look like, you know, like some kids found some rocks in the woods and like put together a seating area to hang out. And so what we did, or what Julie did, was she came in after we set these things and leveled them up, and she actually installed all of these little pockets of mondo grass. So this is gonna take off. This stuff's awesome. It works really well in high heat, in all sun, in part sun, can be really wet, can be really dry. It's kind of this like super versatile thing, and it doesn't grow higher than 2 inches. Right. So it's just gonna fill in these joints. But right now we've got a mix of, like, you know, that and some mulch. I'm really kind of excited to see what this will look like in a year. It does have a different expectation as a patio, right? There's gonna be things that'll move and shift because we're not on a true hardscape surface. But she was okay with that. That was actually part of the rustic look that she wanted. And then structurally, it gives us something where we just don't have this wall of rock for no reason. We need this wall of rock behind us. We need to retain this hillside. We need to tie the waterfalls and line. It all just has to be here. And that's just one of the things I think that Turpin does better than anybody. We do what we have to do structurally, where it's functional, but the way that we marry form and function together and make it a place that you can, you know, have fun, and it just looks great. We're sitting between 30,000 gallons of water ripping around the backside of us, and it's just a different perspective to have on the whole feature.
When you're sitting here, you got some bluestone stacked kind of down into the stream. You got some bluestone steppers down through there. They have a pretty good sized patio in their backyard that the bluestone just really blends into. So taking that incorporating it in just some stack stone throughout the area, bringing that into this area, just really ties it all together to make everything flow and make it so you can get all around this. So
just the flow of how to interact with something this big is super important, because if we want to get somewhere, it's a long walk to go around this pond if you had to.
right.
So that's where these patios do a great job. These little seating areas just breaks up all the rock work a little bit, gives you a different place to interact with it, and also just allows us to change elevations without it looking really forced.
So yeah, we got this area here. I really like how the streams are coming down behind us, and I can't wait to walk over there and check them out. But right here, the water chokes in really, really small, and it's nice and deep over into this area over here, which is just really cool.
So we have a seating area that we made. We made a boulder bench on the other side of this stream and waterfall. So we have a bluestone bridge that crosses it. Thought it was going to just look way too contrived to have two bridges over one stream. So that's where we decided we're going to choke these in and just make, a small area to step over. We got two flat rocks that are part of the stream system in the pond.
Absolutely, and it's nice and close. Dogs can walk across it. People can walk across it very comfortably. It doesn't feel like you're taking some big giant step across there.
Right. Lighting on a project this size is more difficult as you start putting these seating areas, right? We want to be able to sit over there. We want to sit over there. We want to sit up here. We want to sit over there. And we want to light the whole thing without having a light blinding you in the eye. So that's something that happens. I get asked all the time, how many lights do you think you're going to go into this pond? And it's really something we have to make a call of during the construction, because once we know where the patio is, once we know where the vantage points are, that's going to dictate how many lights are actually going to work in this pond. There's nothing worse than having a really awesome lit pond, but then you have a spot you don't go at night because you keep getting blinded by this really bright LED. We're sitting here now, we've got all the lights on. You can see the illumination of the light. It's not taking your eye away from the focal points.
Yep, absolutely. Nighttime, just sitting here, all the lights all around and everything, just incredible.
Yeah.
There's a really cool waterfall over there. I do want to go check out the.
Hey man,
let's
go
go
look at them.
Here we are, right beside the main patio, and there's 14 different waterfalls through this entire project. But I gotta tell you, this area that right in here is just kind of something really special. Creates that curiosity, makes you want to go walk around and check things out, draws you in from the main patio. Also a lot of elevation change, close to an office. There's just a lot going on in this area that's kind of separate from the pond, and I really like that. I really like how when you're here, you kind of want to go over there. When you're over there, you kind of want to go over here. And before you know it, you're around this whole thing multiple times. And as you're right in here, though, I mean, just the sound is incredible by itself before you even get into how it looks with all the different waterfalls and all the different areas. So you guys killed it again. Nice job.
Thanks, man. 14 different waterfalls. This is my favorite one. We just really wanted to spend the time to make this look as natural as possible, right? We don't have any big straight drops. It's complex. The one behind it does the same thing. Instead of taking water over the middle, which is what we normally do, we used one rock to frame and rip water completely around. We have no water running over the top of that rock. And that thing, probably one of the loudest waterfalls that's in here. This whole area here going up, and we've got 40 feet of stream that goes back to another wetland filter just for access and getting in and out. We actually had to start from this area with the deeper stream and then build this up so we could start working to the exit of the property. They spent most of their time before we built this hanging out in their back patio. It's a large area. They got a big, awesome fireplace. It's dedicated just for that. One of the other things that I really like about this, and we were able to do it because of the scope of the project, this waterfall splits around and goes to another stream that faces their office. Right? It's where he spends most of his time for the day. So we really needed to make sure that visual was there for inside as well as outside. And my favorite part about it is this waterfall is the exact same level as the other one. That's how we get water to drop into two places. But unless you're standing on the roof or with a drone, you can't see those two waterfalls at the same time from anywhere on the property.
No, you guys absolutely killed it on this project. It looks like you had a lot of fun building it.
We did. It was, there was definitely something special about this one. Just the whole scope, how she wanted to use it. It was hard to walk away from this one when we were done.
Our goal was really just to design some really cool backyards. We offer a lot of different things, such as pools and water features and recreational ponds, outdoor kitchens and fire features, landscape lighting, and I am just really excited to show what we did here and show what is possible. Certain people want swimming pools, certain people want things that are open all year round, and just a lot more of a natural look that you can still jump in and get a lot of those same features or reasons behind it. So know that there's a lot of different options out there. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, keep building your outdoor dreams.